Okay, let's talk about Lewis structures. Lewis structures are a way to draw a molecule to see how the atoms are connected. To write a Lewis structure, we can follow 4 easy steps. Step 1 is to draw a skeletal structure of the compound with the least electronegative element in the center. Step 2 is to count the total number of valence electrons. Step 3 is to complete the octet rule for all the atoms. And step 4 is kind of like an extra step if the structure has too many electrons, form double and triple bonds on the central atom. Okay, let's try a problem. This is a problem that I found from the PowerPoints for this chapter. We need to write the Lewis structure for NF3. Step 1 is to draw a skeletal structure of the compound with the least electronegative element in the center. So we need to find out which is the least electronegative element. If we look at this chart here, we see that the electronegativity of atoms goes this way on the periodic table of elements. So if we grab our table of elements, we see that nitrogen is less electronegative than fluorine. So we're going to put nitrogen in the middle with fluorine around it. Let's write that out. We have nitrogen, and then we're going to put our 3 fluorines around it. And then these will be connected with a single bond. So now that we have the basic structure written out for our molecule, we need to count the number of valence electrons. Once again, we use the periodic table of elements to figure this out. Our 2 atoms over here are on 5A and 7A, so that means nitrogen has 5 valence electrons and fluorine has 7. But remember, there's 3 fluorines, so we need to multiply 7 by 3. So we're going to add these together, and we're going to go 3 times 7. So 3 times 7 is 21, plus 5 is 26. So we're going to write that down. Step 3 is to complete the octet rule for all of the atoms. Let's start with nitrogen. As we see here, nitrogen already has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 electrons because these bonds are 2 electrons. So now we need to add 2 more. To do that, we just add 2 dots at the top, and these dots represent the electrons. Now we're going to do the same thing for the fluorine atoms. So we already know that this fluorine has 2 electrons because they're sharing it, so it has 2 that it gets to use. And all of the atoms want to have 8 electrons, so now we need to add 6 more to equal 8. So we're going to write 2 dots up top, 2 dots on the side, and 2 dots on the bottom, and again those dots represent the electrons. Now we're going to do the same thing for the other ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And this Lewis structure is complete. And that is how you write Lewis structures for different compounds.